So the author mentions in this section that with No Child Left Behind, that was enacted in 2001, that mathematics was actually elevated in terms of requirements. But the author points out that more time in one subject area means less time in other subject areas, which is something that I've mentioned on many previous episodes. Although not the sole reason for this is one of the reasons why there have been cuts in other domains, like in music education, or the arts, or physical education, science, etc. And with the so-called learning loss that has gone on after the remote learning or lack of schooling during school closures and whatnot from the pandemic, I've anecdotally heard from many districts that administrators are more focused on reading, writing, arithmetic than they've ever been, because scores have dropped, even though the drop's only like 1% in most areas. So now we're going to cut all these other non-essential subjects, or decrease the amount of time that we spend on them. So the author poses the question of asking, but where are we going with all of this? How will this impact what's happening down the road? Quote, one day mathematics and STEM education will take us beyond the moon to the other reaches of the galaxy, but I worry about what we will bring with us. Could we end up with the McDonald's on Mars and racism on Jupiter? Mathematics educators may not want this future, but capitalism does not care what we want. Social studies or music education will not take us to other planets. This will be an ethical quagmire created by mathematics and STEM education, end quote. Now, the same questioning or logic can apply to computer science education. So yeah, there are many open jobs out there in the United States for computer scientists or software developers, etc. Even though in episode 176, titled The End of Programming, those jobs might not be around in a while, according to the author that we unpack in that episode. But another question that we need to ask is the only purpose of schooling to get a job? Now, I've done a couple of episodes that talk about leisure and its role in formal schooling and beyond. For example, check out episode 71, which is titled Considering Leisure in Education with Roger Manti. But I've also done many episodes that talk about modding and mod culture, which is like being able to change a video game to make it do something different. So the example that I love to give is people modded the game Skyrim so that instead of a dragon, they changed it so that it was Thomas the Tank Engine. So you have this little train flying around, breathing fire and whatnot. And it's hilarious. I love it for so many different reasons. But that style of modding can be done in leisure rather than to get a job in computer science or software development or whatever, even the gaming industry. But these are my own arguments for making a case for, hey, instead of just focusing on jobs, if you're going to require this course for everyone, why don't we also focus on using CS for leisure? Because not everyone's going to go into a career in computer science. And that's great and all, but this author might encourage us to question, well, do we even need computer science to begin with? At what point is it enough?